Hey, welcome back, everybody. Sort of a fun ghost story with Mr. Reality and psychic medium Liz Cross. How are you doing today, Liz?
Oh, wow. Well, we are approaching Halloween.
We're getting close. I thought it might be fun to look at some distant mysteries that are forgotten or maybe have introduced in different folklore. This one from the United Kingdom back in London around 1837, 1839. A creature described as a tall figure with the ability to jump over high walls and buildings. This is pre Superman. He could attack people with his claws and breathe fire and blue flames out of his mouth. And I wondered, is this something that was real, made up by the press, or can we dig into the story of Spring Heel Jack?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, let's do it. I do have someone here.
Oh, hello. You have an entity, you have a being, you have an alien. What do you, we're all on the edge of our seat.
He was a human. He was disfigured.
Oh, really? Sort of like a hunchback type of thing.
Were you hunchback? A little, but he had a large cyst or tumor
Huh.
on his cheek, on his left cheek.
Oh.
And this is why he didn't really come out in public too much. He used to skulk around.
So it said that he attacked a few women, Jane Aslop at her home in East London, and he was described as having red eyes, and exhaling blue flames. Did he remember that interaction? Was he trying to, what was that? What were the reality of that?
Did you have are your his eyes are not red, but and what about blue flames? I mean, anything like that? No, no, there that may have been her account. I mean, he hit her over the head
Was he
to
looking for
attack her.
food, or was he trying to be aggressively malicious?
Why did you attack her? Well, he was going to, you know,
Okay. I was trying to keep it a family show, right? Um,
right.
Earlier, a year earlier, he attacked Mary Stevens in October of 1837. Was that the same type of thing?
No, that was different.
Okay. What was the intent there?
What was the intent there? That was just to scare her because she had spotted him. Actually, she had spotted him a few times, and his face, this cyst on his face, it made him very frightening. People were scared of deformities back then.
Right.
uh it was, madmen, and you were deemed, crazy or scary if you had this type of deformity. Of course, the reality is he just wanted to be accepted as normal. But people didn't do that. It was very frightening back then for people to have, disfigurements or any sort of, physical things wrong with them. It was frowned upon.
What was his upbringing? Did he have a high class background, or was he to poverty stricken parents?
What was your upbringing? He was locked away. Yeah, he was
And
locked away, and he wasn't allowed to be seen by anyone.
so he
He was
didn't get an
locked in a
education.
room. No,
And how long did he live in that lifetime?
he didn't live very long. He was actually killed.
Did he ever take any children or kidnap anybody in that lifetime?
Did you ever take any children or kidnap anybody in that lifetime? No, but he would scare people. Like, he got a great thrill out of scaring people. And then he would sort of, would you like wear a cape. And I mean, yes, he sort of altered his clothing and altered his appearance to make him even more scary. I mean, he liked that.
What contracted him to come into this lifetime with that deformity? Can you share more with us what that deformity looks like to you now? Is he showing you that?
Um, yes. And the best way to somewhat describe it is not to the extent, but do you remember the movie The Goonies?
Okay. Yeah.
And there was the brother that they locked away in the basement with the chains, and I can't remember the guy's name. Oh my gosh,
The
it's
fans
like
will
one of
know.
my
Your
favorite.
fans will know. They'll remember.
Yeah, they will. They will. And it's like one of my favorite. I love that movie, by the way.
Christmas,
Um,
Halloween's coming.
yeah,
Time to dig
but
out the
but not
VHS.
but not as drastic where the eye is much lower than the other eye. It wasn't that drastic. And the teeth, the teeth look very similar to the teeth in the character in the Goonies, but there was like this very large cyst underneath the eye, bulging. It was bulging this cheek. I mean, but he wasn't unintelligent. He just had this physical deformity, right? And
Yeah.
isn't it good that we live in a day and age that you can get surgery and you can get correction for your teeth and your mouth and your jawline,
Yeah.
you know, and you don't have to be locked away. I mean, we've really come a long way.
Which incarnation of his was this lifetime as Spring-Heeled Jack?
Which incarnation was this for you? It was in close to 300.
And what does that grant you on the spectrum of evolution and the soul level when you take on such a horrific life?
Well, he found a way to turn people's hatred of him against them. It was, they're going to hate me anyway. So why not just have some fun with it? Why not play games with it?
And so, since he has incarnated, I assume, as a new person or more than one new lifetime, can you tell us what, if any, benefits it had in a next incarnation to go through this life as Spring-Heeled Jack?
So he likes this having a disability.
Huh.
Okay. This is something that he thrives on. It's really challenging. He's not currently here on the earth plane, but he has had another lifetime where he was here on the earth plane. And I feel like he's showing me he had some form of polio or something like that.
Wow.
He ended up in a wheelchair. He was very disabled and he passed quite early. Um, it's the best way to learn, he says. On a soul level, it's riveting. And that was his exact words. It's just spectacular, he says, to learn in this way. You really push boundaries when you deal with disabilities. You really push everyone to the max, whether they're accommodating your disability, whether they are the ones experiencing the disability themselves. You know, how far or how little do you want to take it?
I'm also riveted by the story and the amount of self preservation that it takes to put yourself in those type of hard situations. So, we don't think about the growth that someone gets from having to endure all of those struggles. And so it's a great learning lesson for all of us to be on the other side of that coin and to hear from someone that definitely had a short lifetime, which is now enigmatic of mystery in early Victorian UK.
Well, and what he says is, unless you've been in that situation yourself, you have no idea. You can't possibly imagine how difficult it is and frustrating it can be to be disabled in that way, especially as a child when you're watching all these children have normal, but what is normal, but whatever, the playground lives, where they can run and they can jump and they can sing and they can cry and they can laugh and they can have friendships. And you're the kid in the wheelchair
Yeah.
who can't do anything, right? And
Yeah, that's a
also,
hard life.
yeah. And he says also that the pity party that ensues, right? The everybody feels sorry for you. And then on the one hand, they try to make it as easy as possible for you because they do feel sorry for you. So therefore, you don't even want to try. You end up getting in this pattern of everybody just does everything for me anyway. So why bother trying? And he's speaking as a disabled child. But on the other hand, what kind of life is that? It's like, do they like me genuinely because I am who I am, or do they just pity me? So it's very difficult to be in that situation as a soul. But he actually, again, he loves it. He thinks that this is the way to accelerate his ascension.
Okay. Leading me into my next question greatly. What level on the staircase to ascension step is he on?
What level are you? I mean, he's actually quite high up there. So he's a high three going into a four. And do you attribute that to your disabled lifetimes? Absolutely. Absolutely. He learns how a way, he always finds a coping strategy to the disability. And that's what makes him thrive. That's what makes him move forward, push forward in his ascension.
So everyone that was mean to him in his life as Spring Heel Jack, do they need to pay recompense in a future incarnation to him?
Ooh, absolutely. Absolutely. And they will have to, part of that lesson is they will have to experience being disabled too.
Wow. Always amazing, always
Mm.
super cool and fascinating to talk to psychic medium Liz Cross and learn about these ancient mysteries that I've always scratched my head over.
You know, I think the biggest takeaway from all of these things, we have to start being more careful on a soul level as to what we sign up for, right? Because we are finding this time and time again. Oh, yeah, I'll do this and I'm going to do that. And then we come down here and it's a total mess. And I think we really have to instill somewhere in the soul consciousness that our decisions and our planning really matter. It's not slapdash, and it should never be, which a lot of souls do. A lot of souls get stuck in these patterns that they can't seem to get out of. So this really has to be orchestrated a lot better. Now, I'm not saying that he is wrong in his decisions because obviously it has served him well on the ascension process on the ladder. However, a lot of souls are not as fortunate as he is. They stay at level two, and they're just going through the motions and they can't seem to figure their way out of a problem. So this really is going to take a lot of work, a lot of internal work, a lot of structure, a lot of guidance. that, and maybe, and you teach remote viewing. I'm sure you do this. Do you ever send information to your future self or to your soul using remote viewing?
You can remote influence yourself to make the right decisions. Yeah, that's something that I try and teach in the later weeks in the advanced training for sure. Is he amused that he still talked about? I mean, it's
Yes. And there's people that are historians that are still working on all of this.
what was his favorite lifetime, not including the life as Spring Heel Jack of those 300 plus incarnations, and why?
What is your favorite lifetime? When he was a bear cub, and I'm asking him why, because he was normal in that lifetime. He did not have a deformity. He did not have a disfigurement, and he was allowed to be free.
I should have prefaced with human incarnation, but go ahead. which
Oh,
which human incarnation?
yeah, but it's brutal in the animal kingdom, he says. When you're
I don't
born with
know.
something that is some sort of deformity or
Oh, you're
disability
as
in
good
the
as
animal,
gone. Sure.
yeah, yeah. And that's really difficult all the way around. It's difficult for the mother. And why is it that the mother can quite easily turn on their baby with a deformity? I mean, they'll trample them, they'll kill them, it's not easy to do. So the fact that he chooses this is quite remarkable. Um, but this lifetime is this bear cub where it was the last lifetime as, being able to have all your arms and legs and being able to run through the meadow freely. You don't realize how free you are until you've experienced something like a disability.
Wow. I hope everybody out there can share what this meant to them. And I want to thank Spring Heel Jack for bringing forth that powerful message, and Liz Cross for being the bridge between the here and there.
And don't forget, Mr. Reality has a tip jar. So thank you so much, everyone. This was great. You sprung this one on me. It's neat. I may have to
But
read the book
ching.
now.